You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in. This podcast is sponsored by Financial Fashion Company, and I wanted to tell you guys to check out our store at fnfstore.com, where you can find our beanies, our hoodies, our joggers, our t-shirts, and much more. If you see something that you like, go ahead and plug in discount code FNF10 to get 10% off of your first order. Now let's tap into the show. Welcome back to another conversation. We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host John Michael Best.
And I'm your other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
Coming closer to the mic, coming a little closer to the mic. We're going to say that again.
You might well start it over.
Nah, bro, we ain't starting that over.
All right.
We're going to keep that thing authentic.
All right.
All I'm saying is we want to have you closer to the mic because we want our folks to have a crispy audio.
All right.
And we've been doing a pretty good job, I feel, of creating that since, we started off kind of rough, I feel.
Yeah.
Sometimes we was in the car, but it's starting to be more consistent with us having a good audio and sound. But with that being said, hey, chime in again. Who else we got?
Victor Thomas II.
and it's good to be back, man. How you feel? How you feel today, Vic?
I'm good, man. Tired. Worked the double yesterday. Had to stay extra long. But grateful to be able to do it.
I know the followers gonna be like, boy, he always tired.
I'm telling you.
Like every episode, bro, he needs some sleep.
Real talk, man. That would be going on. But that, that's something that I'm definitely working on. Because, if you notice at the MH10 event, I started talking about that there too. Getting sleep. You know what I mean? That's one of my hurdles right now. Just making sure I get good rest. You know what I mean? Because, a lot of time it be self-inflicted. Because I ain't going to lie to you. I'm the one that sat here and laid up till about 2 o'clock in the morning, knowing I had to link with you this morning. You know what I'm saying? So, discipline.
True.
You know what I mean? Discipline. Having that discipline. Because, after you spend a whole time or a whole day, dealing with responsible stuff, I be feeling like, dang, I just want to kick back. You know what I mean?
I feel you, bro.
And that's what it be. But, I got to find a better way of doing that. So, I'm putting it on my conscience right now. So I know God going to deliver it to me. Whatever I need to do that. So, I'm grateful. Grateful. How about you?
Man, I'm well, man. I'm well. Glad the rain started to come through this week. Was able to stay home with my family, get some time in with them. Because I know next week is going to be time to go back at it. Looking forward to this weekend, man, going down to grandma's house.
Yeah,
the
right.
Lord's willing. Lord's willing tomorrow, and I promise. I always like to say that because it's just a fact. It's just true. But looking forward to that, doing that. But everything has been going well, man. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling good. We was talking before we got on, and we was having some real high-level conversation. So,
Man.
We're already vibing high. So I figured we just go ahead and dive right in. So, man, the topic today, I did want to talk about a certain topic, but this certain topic is going to be broken up into a couple of pieces. Now, the topic is trusting God. But really, I just want to talk about trust first. And then talking about trust, we'll branch off into talking about trusting God and trusting ourselves and then trusting people. So first and foremost, diving into trust, man. And I feel that, this is an important conversation when it comes to our people because we have we trust people for the most part. In times past, I even see our ancestors, the things that we went through with, getting, deceived out of our lands. Our ancestors, we have went through a lot of obstacles to where we got taken advantage of because of the trust that we have naturally. We're naturally loving people, which is good. That's why we believe that we are God's people, and we are.
Right.
And with that being said, down through the years, we have established trust issues because of our trust issues. If you understand what I'm saying, like because of the way we trust people, we have started to establish trust issues, you know, on an individual basis. Like everybody is just have a hard time trusting people, whether it's people that you love or whether it's people that you don't know. We just have a hard time getting to that place where we can say, you know what, bro, I can relax and not worry about anything with a person. So to start this conversation, man, what is your view on trust? You know, do you trust people? Do you have trust issues? And if you have had trust issues, what are some of the ways that you have been working on to better your trust issues? Or do you have trust issues? That's all.
Yeah, man.
That's all in the question. Man.
Shoot, yeah, I
All
got
in the
trust
conversation.
issues, man. Shoot, yeah, I got trust issues, man. Especially being in Atlanta and having the skills that I've had for years with this music thing. It's almost like I've been out here, I don't want to say like a bait, but, you know, people would see me as an opportunity. Oh, you make beats? Oh, you record? Oh, you got the studio? You know what I mean? You got a lot of people trying to befriend you at that point.
Yeah,
you dig
sure.
what I'm saying?
I can see that.
And then when the fire get hot or a situation go down, you know what I mean? Oh, I thought you were my partner. And these type of things have happened in high school. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I've been doing it for a minute. You know what I mean? So just situations like that, like, man, I thought we was boys. And it's, you know, in hindsight, I look back at it and it was like, oh, no, you was just opportunity. So now that kind of make me just kind of look at everybody like, what's your true intention of being around me? You know what I mean? So I ain't even gonna hold you. It's something that I still struggle with. You know what I mean? Because I don't deal with too many people. Like, I'm getting to the point right now where, like, if it ain't family, it ain't nothing.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And I'm having this realization as I'm talking about it right now. Cause I done separated from so many different people because I feel like I can't trust them. That's not to say that we can trust our family, but I feel a little more comfortable because it's something there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we bonded with something that's not my skill.
Something familiar.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It ain't just about, you know, oh, you know how to do this, because it's more so, you know, I fool with you because you my blood. You know what I mean? And I know they say blood, but blood don't make you family and all that and whatever folks be saying. But for me, it's a lot more comfortable than being out here and people seeing what I do and what I can bring to the table and then fooling with me because of that. But, man, as far as my trust issues and getting through that, I really been having to get into this word lately because I think I was very, very spiritually immature. I was familiar with God, had went to church, would read the word, but I never really gave myself fully to the word so I can really understand it. I didn't get up under preachers to really hear the word. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't doing those things. I was
guided.
just being guided, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm in a place where it's like God is kind of like separating me from a lot of stuff, a lot of people, so I can get into the word fully. And I'm noticing that it's equipping me to see what's what, who's who. I can see people's intentions without them necessarily just coming out with it. Like I say, you read between the lines.
Yeah.
Because now I have a foundation to line that up next to.
Yeah.
It's what this person's saying lining up to what I'm learning through God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty much where I'm at right now as far as dealing with those trust issues. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. And,
Shoot, yeah.
And I feel like that's something we all have in common. We all can like give our own personal testimonies of where we put trust in something or somebody and they didn't fall through. And I think that's where the trust issues come from. It comes from disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, that's where my trust issues come from.
Right.
Disappointment. Even to the point where when it comes to relationships, for a long time, I was afraid to even get into relationships, like to a serious or committed relationship, because all the relationships that I seen were like relationships that didn't last or relationships that had lots of problems.
Yeah.
So when you see things like that, you start taking those mental notes, and it turns into fears, and fears makes you have defense mechanisms, and sometimes we protect ourselves because of those defense mechanisms. Like we talked about in the last episodes, trauma affects the way that we love. So also in turn, trauma affects the way that we trust. And I feel that we hold on to our past experiences, and we put them on our current situation. Like for instance, if something happened in the past, let's say if you went to a grocery store, right, and you got robbed at that grocery store, you're gonna think about that grocery store. You would never think about the grocery store the same again.
Real talk.
So it's the same way when you have a situation with a person and it goes left, and now it's another person come along in your life, and you're going to give them a hard time because you're thinking that this situation is the same. So that tells us also, man, like, we really have to heal.
That's what it is.
That's literally what
That's
it
what
is.
it is.
Because it's like we tote baggage, and we tote pain. We tote pain, bro. We tote pain from situation to situation, and we make people pay for it. And that's what has been happening, from generation to generation. Like we said, our ancestors were faced with so much, adversity and so much deceit coming from other people, and it started to even become, start being deceived by our own people. Because you got to think about it. Look at, how MLK, in the Jesse Jackson situation and all of that, and the rumors with that, speculations, quote, you know what I'm saying? We really don't even know the real truth behind that situation. But all I'm saying is it was something that caused, a distrust. Because you can walk with somebody, talk with somebody, spend time with somebody, and then find out that a person was a snake. So not only do we have our own experiences to take in, we also see things that have happened to other people that causes us to put our walls up. So
but it's like how can we not think about that though? It's like if you've been through this type of situation, I mean, I guess what I'm not understanding is how to heal from that kind of stuff.
Forgive. I think it's forgiveness. I think we really have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive those who disappointed us. We have to forgive everything for real. And
all right, so hold on. I like that you said that, forgive. Now, for me, I'm not 100% clear on what that is like. Like, is it a feeling that you get? Because I could easily hold on. Because I could easily sit here and say, I can say out my mouth, it's okay, I forgive you. I could say that, but that don't necessarily mean that's how I feel.
Exactly.
Now, how does that feeling achieved?
See, from forgiveness is done from the heart, not from the tongue.
Right.
It's just the tongue is used just to say it.
Right.
But it really happens in the heart. So there's a certain freedom that comes from forgiveness, bro. If you ever was able to free yourself when you forgave, have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, but see, I feel like for me, it only come with time. It's like the situation it fades, you feel me? And it's like, oh, it's cool. But as far as like say if something happened today, how can a person forgive same day?
Nah, it is. There's no answer for that. Honestly, there's no answer for the timing as far as how long it take you to forgive.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that it's a process. It's a freeing process because you're releasing something. Because like when you're not forgiving, that means you're holding on to something. You're holding on to what you're feeling.
I get that, but how do you let it go?
You have to want to let that go. You gotta want to be free from that. Like if you want to continue to feel how you feel, like, that has to be a place that you have to get to. You have to feel tired of being tormented by this feeling. Like every time I think about this, I get upset. Or every time I think about this, I feel this type of way. I'm tired of feeling this way. What can I do to free myself from this feeling that I'm having?
Right. Now, what does one do at that point?
That's your own process. Your own process of freeing your. Like, you have to get to the place of where it's like, I'm really sick of this feeling. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, now I'm tired. I have to release this some type of way. Some people go talk to that person and release it.
Word.
And I feel like that's the best way to do it. That's really the best way to do it. Have a conversation with that person.
Why you think
if
that?
It's possible, if a conversation is possible to be had without it being worse, without the situation being worsened, if it's possible, that's the best way to go handle that, because that's the source of the issue. That's the root of the problem.
And I can see that. And sometimes it could just be a misunderstanding. Like, we could be mad at somebody and have a resentment, and then once we hear their side of the story, it's like, oh, well, damn.
And then you probably don't even know that person was probably sorry. They probably didn't even know that they did something to you, or whatever the case may have been. And you've been toting this around, and most of the time the trick be on us from holding it, when really you talk to the other person and you find out that, dang, this really could have been laid to bed years ago.
Real talk.
So it's really like, that's what I'm saying. Like, not forgiving is another trap. It's another trap, man, that causes us to hold on to trauma, to hold on to negative energy that makes us sick. Because all of this stuff turns into stress, and stress turns into mental illness, and mental illness causes us to act, irrationally.
And then we end up probably not trusting somebody that God sent for us to be able to trust.
And that's the point of us having this conversation. Like, I wanted to talk about this because this is a real reality. We have real trust issues. Right. And the trust issues comes from trauma. And if we don't heal from that, we will continue to have this effect, bro. Not just between us. Like, it's going to be generational. Like we were just talking about, bro. Our ancestors went through a lot of these same things. And we are still feeling the same things now in 2022. So if we don't start reinforcing these things in our households, we'll keep repeating our feelings. We'll keep repeating the way that we feel and the way we have been done. We'll keep.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think when you come across a person, should you trust them first or not trust them? Like, should you initially trust them until they give you a reason not to trust them? Or do you just open your arms of trust to every person you come across out the gate?
I really think there's a safe amount of trust that we should move with.
A safe amount?
A safe amount of trust to move with. And that means the amount, individually, everybody have their own amount of trust that they can give. Like, for instance, of course, if you meet a stranger, you're not going to be like, come to my house. That wouldn't be smart.
I don't know.
Sometimes people do that based on energy and based on, that's their person's trust. That particular person may have had a certain level of trust that they was willing to give that certain person. Yeah. Now, that's different. Well, what I'm saying is, it is different from situation to situation, but what I'm saying is we want to have that mind of like, okay, I have to at least be friendly enough. I have to trust this person enough to be a friend.
Out the gate.
Or like, I'm just going to never make friends or never have nobody to be around me. Right. You have to have a certain level of trust. I'm not like we just said, there's levels to it. It's not saying that, okay, I just met you today. Now I'm finna let my kids go over your house. And it's things like, it's not that extreme. It's just like, okay, I just met you. Good to meet you, man. Let's talk. Let's catch up sometime. Let's hang out sometime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's you extending that. Let's get to know each other so you can trust them a little bit more.
So basically what I hear you saying is that it's levels to trust.
Oh, for sure.
Trust is not just trust.
For sure.
So that makes me think, like, is it levels to love?
I don't feel like it's levels to how you show love. It's only one love. Like, I don't feel like there's different types of love. It's only one love, but it is the way you show it is different. People
types of
people show love. People show love in different ways.
Right.
So it's the same way. It's just like we're talking about the limitations of trust. It's the same way with love. You can have love in your heart, but you can choose to like be mature about it. Like, you're not going to be naive. You're not going to be like, okay, I'm just gonna go all out for this person, and this person is not. What I'm trying to say is that you want to use your mind. You don't want to be a fool. Like, of course you want to be smart, and you want to have a certain level of a thought process before you start trusting people and start going out of your way and stuff like that. But you still supposed to move with love in your heart, and like not supposed to hate people and stuff like that.
Right.
Like you're supposed to have a level of common sense too, bro. What is that noise?
Let me see.
Oh yeah, but that's all I'm saying. Like, use your mind, like use your head. You're not supposed to just go all out with anything without having a conscious decision to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just move like a fool.
Right. But see, I don't know, man, cause sometimes, man, like sometimes I feel like we really can't trust our minds. Cause sometimes our minds will lead, and that's why I said sometimes our minds will lead us astray. Right. And that's why I brought up love right behind it. You know what I mean? Cause I believe that we supposed to lead with love.
True.
You know what I mean? Not our minds. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a conflict. So it's like if we really are out here to be good people, and I'm gonna just say it, Christians. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't we always be all out?
Because we're both human.
Okay.
You know, we're both human and divine. And because we live in this world, because things are set up like this, you know, we have opposite forces. We have we have adversity, we have, you know, evil.
But wouldn't love navigate us around that, though?
Yeah. And that's why, but like I just said, there's still some things that we can't control.
True.
Like, there's certain things you still can't control, and it wouldn't be, because check this out. I'm going to put you in a real scenario. Mm-hmm. Because you are both human and divine, let's say you do go all out every time you meet a person. Mm-hmm. Your human part going to feel that. When you get disappointed, that's more trauma you piling on yourself, so it wouldn't be smart for you to go all out.
But wouldn't that be like, I don't know.
That's not love.
That wouldn't be considered.
Love is not
painful.
Love is not dumb, is what I'm saying.
But it can be.
God
painful.
is love. God is love. Only time love is dumb is when it's perception. Like a person don't understand the perception of love. It can seem dumb. But love is never dumb because love is God. And God is always right. So you can move with that, what I'm saying. But as far as us being human, person to person, you have to move and make the right decisions. Because this life, you're going to have consequences of those decisions that you make. So, of course, you got to use your mind. That's all we saying. You need to be conscious. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're supposed to have the spirit of love and you're supposed to move, you know, the way of God. But you're also supposed to watch and pray, remember?
Yeah, true.
Because we do have evil out here. That's why I'm saying, like, you have sheep in wolves' clothing. You have wolves in sheep clothing. So if you're not paying attention, you will end up getting hurt. You will end up, you know, going down the wrong path.
So it sounds like to me that's what the mind should be used for.
It's a navigation. Yeah, and it's connected to the heart. Like the mind is not disconnected from the heart. Because if you think about it, it's a wheel. You're like, okay, your heart is a wheel of the center of your wheel of your desires, right? Like when you say it's in my heart, that means it's really deep and you feel that it's really deep and it's really emotional. Like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A heart is really connected to something that's deep. It's a deep will and desire. But your mind, the reason why it's connected to your mind is because whatever your desire is what your thought is going to reflect of. Not saying you're not going to have thoughts outside of that.
Right.
So I'm saying the most prevalent thought is going to be what your heart is set on. Whatever your heart is set on is what your thoughts is going to be connected to. So all of it is together. So if you got love in your heart, the consciousness in your mind going to be that of what your heart is.
Right. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
That makes sense. And that's how you lead with love.
Exactly.
Because your heart can't just... Your heart is your heart.
Yes.
You're
going to feel that love.
Right.
But that consciousness is going to help you make the decision. Like, right. It's going to give you that common sense, that knowledge, that wisdom that wisdom, that's the right word. That consciousness, that's why he said the mind of Christ. The mind of Christ. Not only do we have the spirit of Christ in our hearts, we also have his mind, meaning like our thoughts will also be of God.
Right. And it starts with our heart.
Yes.
Our heart need to speak to our mind.
Yes,
not our
take
mind.
Over our heart.
We can't let our mind lead us.
Talk, bro.
We got to come from the heart first.
The desire, the will.
Then that go up to our mind.
Yes.
That makes sense. And then I just imagine that being a good guy when it comes to trusting people. Like if we have a good heart out the gate, our mind gonna navigate us to the right people, or not to be around this person. You know what I mean? I get that.
Because even when Satan tested Christ in the wilderness after he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he could have been like, "Oh yeah, let me use the love of God. I take the world, Satan. Thank you."
And see, when you say that, I think that it makes me think that because of our ancestors, circling back around to what you said, it might be some things that we would do. Because just imagine our ancestors being on a I hate that we always resort to slavery because that's the knowledge that we
narrative.
know. I'm telling you, man.
Use another one, bro. We ain't even gonna use that one.
But all right, say if we got a elder in our family, you know what I mean, and they might have been struggling, and we saw them struggling, and we knew they could use some money.
Yeah,
we may run into a situation where we're offered money, and Satan offers stuff to us to this day in whatever form. And I think that if we take that mind that our elder had and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do what they did or what they would do," we'll end up in a messed up predicament. And from what I'm learning from what you're saying is that we have to use our hearts and let our own hearts guide us and not the minds that we got from our ancestors. You feel me? Because a lot of that stuff be traumatic. A lot of decisions they may make may be because of the trauma that they was in. You know what I mean? So I think it's important for us to break free and be our own selves and not just do stuff because, oh, mama did it, daddy did it, granddaddy did it. You know what I mean? We really got to be our own individuals.
In the best way possible.
In the moment.
Yeah.
In the best way possible in the moment.
Yes.
And really breed our own hearts.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of times, like even with trust, it's like we might not trust a person because we were taught not to trust these type of people. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't go around them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You don't need to be around them niggas. But God might have us on the journey where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sending you to be over here. You need to be around these folk. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times we may block our own blessings because we moving in the way of our mind. Somebody might have told us this is the way you need to think, this is the way it is, but that's not in our heart. That might have been your heart, but I can't take your heart and put it in my mind.
And see, that leads me back to the book that I read, and we're going to move on to the next segment, to the next part of the conversation. We're going to do about 5 minutes on this next part of the conversation, and then we're going to go to the next segment. But this book that I read called The Four Agreements. And in this book, man, it start dismantling our belief systems. Because as soon as we come into the world, right, we start being domesticated. And our happiness gets dwindled. Think about it. Now, the domestication is the belief system that was given to us by who? Our ancestors, meaning our mothers, our grandmothers, our fathers, whatever.
Right.
The elders.
Right.
So that's the belief system. That's the domestication that was given to us. That domesticated us. We're no longer free.
Right.
That didn't come from us. That didn't come from our mind. That came from theirs.
Right.
So that bound us. That domesticated us. That put us in a box. That belief system was given to us. Now we have to free ourselves from that belief system to really be free.
Real talk.
So we are living the lives, we are living the dreams of others at this right now. So if we don't break free of their belief system and those agreements, those people that our people said not to trust that you just mentioned, we got to break free from those agreements that don't serve us because they came from other people, and we have to attach ourselves to the agreements that serves us now.
Right. Right. That make a lot of sense. And that extends beyond just the people we deal with. That could be like the ventures we go on. You know what I mean? Like I know when you talk about college, you know what I mean? Like I know that was pressure. You know what I mean? But you had to follow your own way. You had to break free from what everybody thought you should do.
And it was disappointing to me. I also want to make that note, like finding out the things that I found out, the epiphanies and the revelations that I had, it was disappointing to me too, because I was like, dang, I thought I was going to do this. Now I got to go another route, like, because once I saw it, I couldn't continue to do it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, once I saw the real thing and like the bigger picture, I'm like, I can't continue to be in this race, and I know it's a race. Right. I know that this is a race that doesn't end.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
and you know what that made me think of? Breaking generational curses.
I had to.
Breaking generational curses.
We got to, bro. There's no choice, because if we don't do it, then it's going to be somebody else that's going to have to start from the bottom over and over again. So that's why when I got fired from my last job, I made a vow to myself that I was going to break my ass doing it for myself the next 15, 20 years, because we'll do it for a job easy. We'll give them 30 years of our life and be like, where my retirement at? Like, versus you taking that time and building something for yourself and for your family and for your kids, right. Something that they can actually grab and touch and hold, you know, something that you can put in an estate.
Right.
That's generational wealth.
Right.
And I believe that we have had a start on that. You know, of course, we got the form. We have had a foundation, but as men in this family, we got to take it to another level. So in order to do that, we do have to equip ourselves with the knowledge. We do have to equip ourselves with the execution. And we have to do, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we have to move.
And above all, though, what this podcast is about, we have to equip ourselves with the trust of God.
Talk, bro.
And not with what other people say we should do. Or how we should feel, or how we should move. You know what I mean? We really got to be in that alignment. Like we were talking about earlier today, we got to be in that alignment.
Yeah,
we can't be trying to be in alignment and then considering what Joe Blow said or what Matty K said. You know what I mean? We got to have our own relationship with God in order to trust him, man.
That's right.
Can't nobody trust God for us.
That's right, bro.
You dig what I'm saying? That's what I've been learning in a nutshell. You know what I mean? Because over the years, man, like I said, I have been familiar with God. You know what I mean? I would hear what my dad would say. I would, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I would hear what a preacher would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But until I sat down and was like, all right, God, what's going on? What's up? What you want me to do? Sit down somewhere quiet. You know what I mean? Really get into myself and be like, God, what do you want me to do? Because I'm getting pulled all kind of ways. I got the music over here. I got the electrician over here. I got this over here. God, what you want me to do?
Facts.
And in saying that, I couldn't trust myself. I was trying to trust my mind, but that had me going so many other ways, chaos. Now I'm stressed out. You know what I mean? Now I'm doing all this stuff that's degrading me. Because I don't got the trust of God. I'm not letting God really lead me and transform my heart so my mind can be sound. You dig what I'm saying?
That sent me to the next question. Because I'm glad you went into that direction, because that's the next part of the conversation was, do you think through our experiences and because we have trust issues with people, do you think that affect the way we trust God? Do you think it make us hesitate? Like, do that hurt, do that pain when it comes to trust, do that translate into our relationship with God?
Yeah, I think it can. I think it can if you let it, for sure. If you don't have that tight relationship with God, because when you had it, for me, when I have that tight relationship with God, if something happens that deals with trust or something like that, I can go to God and say, God, what am I supposed to get from this? But if I'm not able to see any good in it, then of course, naturally, I may begin to question God. Yeah, I might even be mad at God.
I thought he was the one I thought he controlled everything, right? Right. So if this situation happened to me and caused me my trust to be, shaken because this person disappointed me. Why would God allow that?
So right. That, and that's what a lot of people
see. That's what I'm saying. So I definitely see a connection there. Like our disappointment in life and our disappointment with people definitely translates into our relationship with God, because that's our relationship with trust. So it's like you can't compartmentalize that. You can't say, okay, I'm going to not trust people, but I'm going to trust God. If you don't already have that consciousness and trusting God first. Like
trusting God first.
Now if you trust God first, you go through the ringer and the fire with, going through whatever you're going through with people.
Right.
But it's harder when you go through what you're going through with people, and then you want to try to trust God.
Right.
Like it's always better when we put him first. So it's like we learn to trust people first though. We learn backwards. We come into this world trying to trust people instead of trusting God. We don't lead with God. So we always come out, we got to trust the people around us. We got to trust the people in our environment, because the people in our environment didn't give us that consciousness of trusting God.
Right.
So we start trusting people first before we trust God. And I think that has been the problem. And so we take our trauma that we got from people and we judge God based on that. So it's like dang. Because God's supposed to be in control, right? So we be mad. What we've been through, right? We mad subconsciously and in our hearts. We mad that we done went through all of what we went through. Right. And then you got the preacher saying that God is in control of everything. And you saying that, well, if God is in control of everything, why I'm going through all of this bullshit? Right. So now your trust issues with people. Now you mad at God too. Because now the preacher don't confuse you and he didn't tell you that, you was by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You was on your journey without that consciousness of who God was. So that's why you was going through what you was going through. Now you can start fresh and trust him. And now you can move with that consciousness when you come into contact with people.
Right.
See, that's why there's a lot of confusion out here. And that's why we blame God for a lot of things.
A lot of stuff,
because of our traumas, man. We try to trust people and we try to trust ourselves first. But if we come to God and we free ourselves from that trauma, and we go through all our healing and try to heal, go through that process. You know what I'm saying? It's a continuous process of healing. We're not going to all be healed, bro, 100%.
Right.
We'll never reach that until we die. You know what I'm saying? We'll never reach that wholeness, that spiritual, and that balance of what we're talking about. That man, we're getting into
it's a lifelong journey.
A lifelong journey.
But let me say this though, and that's why I said what I had said. Like God, I noticed in my life, shit was always making sense after the fact. You know what I'm saying? But during the situation, and it still happens now, like something might be going on, you feel me? And it's like, God, why are you putting me through this? You know what I mean? But I think that's a question that people don't ever ask. It's not a sincere question. It's like, oh, God, why? Instead of it being like a, God, why? You get what I'm saying? You see the difference in that tone? Oh, God, why? God, why? You dig what I'm saying? Like, really seeking for an answer.
Yeah.
Like, why is this happening? You know what I mean? And I think that's an integral part with having a trust of God. Because you know that God, when you trust God, you say, God, I trust you. I know this is going on. And I know it's a reason for this. Show me what it is.
Yes.
To relieve what I'm feeling right now. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that goes to say about what you said. We might trust, we might look at a situation or a person and then just be looking at that, but not seeing the God in it.
Yes.
But if we approach every person and every situation with God first,
yes, then
we'll see the enlightenment that comes from whatever we go through, whoever we encounter. You dig what I'm saying? Bro. So it's all about, man, like I say, man, I believe that the number one thing we can do in this life, well, I ain't gonna say the number one, but one of the most important things is to learn. And I think we have that opportunity every day. And it's the one thing that we can do from birth until the day we gone. You dig what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And I know serving is an important thing too. You know what I mean? But you can't necessarily serve your whole life. Because when you're a baby, it ain't so much you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you a baby, you dang sure can learn.
That's right.
So I think if we take that thinking of trusting God and knowing that God is a teacher And we need to learn from whatever we go through, how traumatic it may be. It's something to learn. If we take that, we can get through anything and it won't seem as bad.
That's that consciousness. That's consciousness.
Real talk, man.
That's that consciousness, and this is what the conversation's supposed to do, man. It's supposed to raise consciousness. So with having these conversations, that's our goal, man. Like, it's supposed to be something that we could think about, something that we're supposed to gain clarity from. And that's why we have these high-level conversations, because we're supposed to invest into being our best selves. And why not invest into healing from your trauma? Because that's really what's going to make you great.
That's right.
You know, really going through, like, peeling off the layers, peeling back the layers of all of this stuff, man, that's happened to us, and really healing and forgiving and becoming better people. And I feel like that's the real wealth. And here at We Invest Different, those type of conversations that we talk about, real things that's going to really equate to you really being that person that God wants you to be, and that person that your family needs, and that person that the world needs. You know what I'm saying? Because we know, of course, that the world is a place that is going to end, but we want to do good as much as we can. We want to, we want to produce good as much as we can. So that's the goal. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to go to our next segment of What You Learned really quick. We always do this segment because we want to bring something. Yo, what's going on, podcast family? It's the CEO, Mr. John Best, and I'm coming to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free, and it has creation tools so you can record your podcast from your phone and your computer. Also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Music, and many more platforms. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now, if you're interested, download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now back to the show. Did you know stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental health issues? This is why we started this movement, MH10, Mental Health 10 Minutes. And we want to inspire everybody to take at least 10 minutes a day for a walk, jog, or run, or even if it's just a stroll in the sunlight to get some fresh air. The goal is just for you to focus on yourself for those 10 minutes. And what this does, it lowers the chances of you experiencing anxiety and depression, because we all know that stress leads to those things. So get outside today and take your 10 minutes. And if you want to post on social media, use hashtag MH10 or Mental Health 10 Minutes. Yeah, we want to bring you guys something that we've learned. So to let you guys know, give you guys something that y'all can take note of as well. So I'll just go ahead and get mine out the way, then you can go ahead and go ahead, Vic.
Okay.
This is something that me and Chels talked about, last weekend. She said something very profound. And it really was good, man. It really gave me, a key. And what was said was that, with every negative situation, because the conversation was about negative and positive thoughts, because we all have them. And to kind of reinforce your negative thinking, we were saying that a good thing to do is, with every negative thought, think of a positive solution to that negative thought. So it's like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this. What's a positive solution? Maybe thinking about how, maybe putting your energy into possibilities of getting that done as a solution to that negative energy of not being able to have it done. Like, that's just a small example. Just like with every negative thought, try your best to create a positive solution. And even in that thought process of thinking of a positive solution, that negative energy gonna disappear. I'm just letting you know it's gonna get the hell up out of there. Cause you're gonna already it's gonna leave as soon as you start trying to think of a positive solution. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole point. With every negative thought, think of a positive solution. And that negative thought will flee.
Amen. And I fool with that, cause like, man, one thing that I do when them negative thoughts come, okay, I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes I ain't got now a solution. You feel me? And I just got to tell myself, God handling it. Yeah. God making a way. That's my positive take on it. You know what I mean? Whatever I might have, God got it. Real talk. Because that be all I got sometimes. Because shit be some shit sometimes. Just to be real. Everybody got some shit. And it's like, I don't know how the fuck this shit gonna stop being shit. But God let it happen.
Yeah.
God trust God. God got it. And it's just like, hey, what can I learn? But God got it. He gonna move it around. I just gotta be patient. You know what I'm saying? It's growth, man. So yeah, that's powerful, man, because we can get lost in them negative thoughts and they just start compounding with interest, man.
Man, what?
Every second.
Say compounding with interest.
Real talk. Every second, bro. Every second. Then next thing you know, we thinking about something else. This one negative thought, now we thinking about something that ain't even got nothing to do with that negative thought. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, man, but I just thought about the good ass tomato sandwich I'm gonna eat when I get to the crib. Yeah. I've been tearing the tomato sandwiches up, bro. And another joke I wanted to bring to the podcast, bro.
What that?
What the hell is organic fruit?
I don't know.
Man, that's what I'm saying. How the hell fruit gonna be organic? It's already organic, idiots. That's what they tell. They put things on the counter, bro. They put things in these grocery stores and we just get them in. Just because it say organic. How the hell you gonna create organic fruit? What the fuck is organic fruit, bro? Ain't no such thing as organic fruit. Fruit is already organic. You can't get much organic than that if it's coming out of the ground.
I don't know.
They creating some shit. Don't give me no organic fruit. Give me the fruit. I just want the fruit.
Maybe how they grow it make it organic or something.
Nah, hell. It's supposed to be grown from the earth, the way it's supposed to be grown. So talking organic fruit. It's just fruit. What the hell?
Oh, look.
That's just my take on organic fruit. I just thought it was funny. But leading on to the financial thing. Hold
on, I ain't get to do my thing, man.
You damn, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Mine quick, though. It's just, everything don't got to be addressed. You know what I mean? It's something that I knew, but, you know, you still be learning stuff that you already knew, stranger, through situations. Everything ain't got to be addressed. You know, even if the door wide open for you to address it, sometimes you just got to leave that door open and keep going on about your business.
What's power in that?
Yeah, man. But that's it, though.
And that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, and that's a gem. That's really heavy in a sentence. That's a heavy ass sentence, to be for real, because conflict resolution is really needed on these streets, especially since that gun bill done been passed. But moving on to the financial theme of the month, like we said on last week, man, please open a business. Let me say that again. Please open a business. Because without a business, we are neglecting the many perks that the government has given to fuel the economy. Now, as an employee, one of the main things that keep us broke is taxes. Taxes is taken off of the top. Damn near almost half of our money go to taxes. So if you getting paid and 30% of your money is going to taxes, 20% more, that's half of your whole check. So to offset that, open a business and start doing tax deductions. So that means if you actually have a party at your home, right? Do some business while that party is being done at your home. That means everything that was bought to go to that party, including the alcohol, including everything that was bought, yes, everything, is tax deductible because it was a business event. Now, you would not be able to do that as a regular employee, but because you own a business, you actually can have a business function, let people have fun, have a good time, throw some little business in there, and that become a whole tax deductible event. Not only that, if you're a person that like to travel, everybody like to travel, man. Come on, let's don't even cap about it. Everybody like to travel. Now, let's say your next trip, right? Instead of going on your next vacation and you paying that straight out of pocket, let's say, hey, I'm going to pay it out of pocket on the front end, but I'm going to make this tax deductible so I can reap on the back end. So instead of you going and spending all your money, let's say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make it my business to meet with a client on this vacation. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to meet somebody on the flight, on the way there. Now, since you met somebody on the flight, that flight became tax deductible. And when you land, you know what you going to do? Since y'all going to the same place, take her out to lunch. Take him or her out to lunch and say, hey, it's on me. Now that dinner became tax deductible. Not only that, that business trip became tax deductible. Now, that whole trip has now became tax deductible because you handled some business. Excuse me. On your trip. These are things that you won't be able to do without a business. So, hey, if you have something that you love, I don't care if it's sewing, I don't care if it's painting, I don't care what it is. Put a name on it, put a business behind it, and start getting those tax deductions. And there you go. We Invest Different Podcast. Anything you want to add to that, Vic?
Peace. Peace.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to conversation number 18 of We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm the other co-host, Victor Thomas II.
And the Kings is gone. We out.